Hey guys, what's going on? Luke here from All Specialist Gaming. Today I'm going to be showcasing a $400 console killer gaming computer, and it's going to be able to run games at 1080p at decent frame rates at decent settings. Now, there's some Modern Warfare Remastered gameplay going on in the background, but let's get right on into the video. So, for this, I did go ahead and do a bit of research. I researched the price, or the lowest cost of a PlayStation 4. As you can see here on Amazon, it came in at $269, which was the cheapest I could find. $269 was the one on, I think it was Walmart as well, so you can't really get any higher. I went for the older PlayStation 4, not the new PlayStation 4 Pro. And at this price you aren't going to be able to make a gaming PC that's going to outperform it. It's just not really possible with the parts at the minute. But I did go ahead and add in this adapter, which allows you to use a keyboard and mouse on a console, and this costs an extra $149.99 or $150. So I added them two together and got a budget of around $419, and I stayed beneath that budget, and it's closer to 400 than the 419. So starting it off, we have the CPU. Now I was thinking of going with some Intel CPU, but I decided against it just for budget purposes. I decided to go with a AMD CPU instead, and I went with the AMD FX 6300 6-core processor, which is clocked at 3.5 GHz, which for a budget build isn't that bad, and 6 cores will help in some more demanding games. It costs $93.11, or just call it $93, and it's a pretty good CPU for the money at the minute. I mean, the one I have in my computer is the FX 8350, which is like 2 processors up, which performs really well, and Connor, who also does this channel, has the FX 6300 or the FX 6350. I can't really remember which one he has, but it performs really well for him as well, so it's going to be a good budget processor. Now moving on to the motherboard, I decided to go for an ASRock 970 Extreme 3 R2.0 ATX AN3 Plus motherboard. It comes in at about $52, just under $52 actually, and I have one similar, if not this one, in my PC, and it hasn't caused me any problems. Now do note that some compatibility notes for this build and this motherboard. It says that you might need a BIOS update to run with the FX 6300. I have pretty much the same motherboard and I haven't had to do that, but just a little warning in case you do have to do that. It is a slight thing, it shouldn't take you too long and it should be very simple. There's tutorials out on YouTube and Google on how to do it, so it shouldn't really be too hard for you guys to do. Okay, so moving on to the RAM, I decided to go for 8GB, which is two 4GB sticks of Kingston HyperX Fury Black DDR3 RAM, clocked at 1600 MHz. So it's not the fastest RAM, but it is still fairly fast, and for a budget you don't really want to go for anything that's much more expensive. This comes in at about $49, so it's fairly cheap for what you're getting, and I'd recommend getting 8GB of RAM, even in a budget computer, just because it will give you that extra boost in some games. And I mean, I could have gone with some 4GB, but then you would upgrade later on. But with this you have 8 to start with, so you don't have to upgrade just yet, and if you do ever upgrade, I'd recommend getting another 2 of these sticks and getting 16 in total and go from there. So moving on now to the hard drive, I didn't go for an SSD or anything in this build due to it being a budget build. but I went for a Western Digital Caviar Blue 1TB 3.5 inch 7200 RPM internal hard drive, and this is one I have in my computer. It's the one Connor has in his, and it's one that I really like. I use it for pretty much all of my builds because one, I know it's good and it's not really going to disappoint you, and it's one of the best budget hard drives out there, or one of the best hard drives in general out there at the minute that everyone seems to love in the PC community. So definitely go pick one of them up. Comes in at $50, just under. And if you do a bit of searching, especially for the hard drive, you can get one used. I'd recommend, if you don't have enough money to get this build right now and you want to save, say, $15, go and look on eBay or Craigslist or wherever you can to see if you can get one used. I mean, I live in the UK, but I'm doing this as a US build. Then you wanna, I can get a Caviar Blue terabyte for about £20 to £25, which is about £15 to £20 less than a brand new one, which is pretty good in my opinion. But definitely go for this hard drive because it won't let you down. Moving on now to the graphics card, I did have a difficult choice choosing what one I wanted to use in this build. I was on the edge between a GTX 750 Ti or a RX 460. I decided I would go for the RX 460. I went with the Asus Radeon RX 460 2GB model. I think it's overclocked, it's dual overclocked, or fans are overclocked or something. It comes in at just under $100 after rebates, I believe. So you're getting a good deal. It's about, I was reading it up on some forums and people were saying it's about 20 to 30% faster than a GTX 750 Ti, and it performs the same as a 750 Ti with some games performing a bit better, which is always good, especially for under $100 for a graphics card, especially for an entry level. You'll get really good game frames, sorry, not games, out of this on loads of games. Even the new titles, you get really good frames. Now for the case, I decided I'd go for a Corsair 100R ATX mid-tower case. This comes in at $35 and it's a big enough case for you to do a decent bit of cable management, and it has a simple look, as you can see right now, but it is still going to be a really good starting case. It's not colourful or anything, it's just plain black with a window on the side, but it's going to be fine for your first build. Now moving on to the last component in this PC build, we have the power supply. I thought I'd go for an EVGA 430 watt 80 plus certified ATX power supply. This isn't modular, so its cables are going to be a bit hectic, but it should work just fine. And this only comes in at $29, just under $30, and it's EVGA, it's certified, it's a really good power supply, and it's not going to let you down. And the base, no, not the base, the actual total for this is $406.72. I didn't include an optical drive or an operating system with this. I'm going to assume that you guys already have an operating system, but if you guys don't have an operating system, don't worry, you aren't going to be out that much. I mean, Windows 10, if you buy it from like your local shop or wherever, it will cost you a bit more, but you can search online, and Kingwin.net, I believe, can sell you license keys for very cheap. I've looked it up. I did this for Connor's computer. I had my Windows 7 Home Premium. It was an OEM disc, and I used that to install Windows on Connor's computer, and then used a license key I bought for £15 online, and it worked perfectly. You can get a Windows 10 or Windows 7 or Windows 8 license key for about $15 to $20, so you aren't going to be out of pocket that much, and it's not too much more expensive, and it's a little bit more expensive than the initial budget, but not by too much, and you should be able to afford it. It's like a meal at Mackey's or whatever. So go ahead and do that and it's fine. Now I didn't put a monitor, keyboard, mouse, etc. into this just because, one, it would definitely go over budget then, and I assume that most of you already have like TVs in your house that you would be able to use. You can just plug the HDMI cable straight into the back of your TV, etc. You might need to buy an adapter. It depends on what computer you have, not computer, TV you have. Sorry, I'm doing this from the top of my head. I didn't write a script. Sorry about that. Other gaming PC builds I do will have a script. But that's the build done. And if you enjoyed this video, then please leave it a like down below. There's loads of videos on YouTube that show frame rates for different games with this type of setup. And you're looking, you can play Battlefield 1, GTA 5, Minecraft, Skyrim, any game pretty much you can play on 1080p. You just lower the settings a little bit, but even then you're probably still looking at about medium settings, maybe higher on some. And I was surprised at what you can actually get with this build when I was looking it up. So go ahead and get this build if you're looking to switch to PC gaming, and I hope I'll see you online on some games. That would be really good. I mean, I do have a console and a PC, but I prefer PCs to consoles for the majority of games. But anyway, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. It does help. Subscribe to the channel because I am going to be doing a lot more gaming PC builds. I'm going to try and get one out every week or every 2 weeks for different budgets. So give me a comment down below on what other budgets you want me to do, and I'll get straight onto it. But anyway, that's it from me, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.